Hi, I'm Monty, the software engineer. In today's video, I wanted to go over this GitHub Copilot plugin for Qt Creator. If you didn't know, Qt Creator has a plugin right here. If you go to About Plugins and go to Copilot, there's a GitHub Copilot plugin already for Qt Creator. If you don't have it, I suggest upgrading to the latest version of Qt Creator. For context, my version here is 11.0.3. You can follow the steps. I'll leave this link in the description here. This goes over how to install GitHub Copilot plugin for your Qt Creator. It's very easy. It took me about 5-10 minutes. You do need a paid subscription for GitHub in order to access the Copilot. I believe it's $10 a month. I've been using it for the past couple months testing it out. I think it's pretty cool. You do have to kind of watch out. If you watched my last video about QML property bindings, there was one instance where the code was not correct. Again, you do have to watch out, make sure that you look at all the suggestions that Copilot provides and ensure that the code is correct. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this Copilot plugin can do for you. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new application. I'm just going to do a Qt quick application. All right, so let's run this application, make sure everything works. And here you can see that we have our QML application. So first, let's see what the Copilot suggestion can provide us. Let's say I'll do a comment here and say, oh, all right, so I just started typing a comment and right away it said create a rectangle as the suggestion. That is actually what I wanted to try out, but yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and hit tab for to accept that. And then I'll just say also to complete it that fills the entire screen and is red. Okay, so now if I hit enter, you can see here that Copilot has provided the code for this. Here you can see it creates a rectangle that's the same width and height of our window, makes it red. It also creates a text element here, hello world. I didn't ask for this, but it did add this. But I'll hit tab, and there you can see right away that it has created all this code for us. I'll hit save and run, and there it created a red rectangle that fills the entire screen, has this hello world text in the center of the screen. So let's say that I wanted to change this. I'll say make the text white and larger. Okay, I can go ahead and probably just delete all of this. And there we go. It has suggested now text, hello world, center of the parent, color white, and font size 48. So let's run that. And there we go. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. So already you can see that this is a very powerful and helpful tool. Again, you want to make sure that you read the code and make sure that what it's suggesting is correct. All right, let's go ahead and test it out further. I'm going to create a new class, file, C++ class, and we'll inherit QObject, and let's call this animal. So let's go next and finish. Now here's our animal class. So the idea here is I'm going to create a base class animal that I'm going to inherit from in my child classes like dog. And I'm going to want it to say speak, and the dog will bark, and then possibly create a cat that will meow. So let me say, oh, so I hit enter, and automatically it already has this void speak const here. I guess this is a very common example, and it already knew that this is something that I would want to implement. So I don't necessarily want this void speak here. I don't want the base class here to have an implementation. I want it to be pure abstract so that my child classes have to override this. So I'm going to say create a virtual function speak that my children classes have to implement. And here it suggests virtual void speak const equals 0, which is the correct syntax that says that the base class animal has no implementation of speak, and any classes that derive animal must implement speak. So that is correct. Already looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and create a new class, and we'll call this dog. and then we'll hit next and finish. And in our header, let's go ahead and see if it will automatically, all right, so it wants to include QObject, sure. And it also wants to include animal. So here you can see that GitHub Copilot knows about our animal class, and it thinks that we want our dog to implement animal, which is correct. It's what we want to do. So it suggested including the animal header, which is correct and very impressive actually, that it already knows about our other class and that we may want to use that within our dog class. So I'm gonna hit tab to complete that. And then let's go after dog. So what we want to do is subclass or derive from animal. So let's see if Copilot will do that when I click after dog and hit space. And there you go. We can see that it wants to autocomplete this public animal where we're saying, oh, we want a subclass from animal. And that is looking really good. So now we want to implement from our animal class this speak function. So we'll go to dog.h. And again, I haven't fed the AI anything, Copilot anything. It's doing this based off of whatever artificial intelligence model that it has. And it's actually pretty impressive. So let's go ahead and hit enter and see if it will know that we want to implement that class. So here it says in a comment, override the speak function. Yep. So let's go ahead and enter. And there it is, void speak const override. Perfect. And let's go ahead and right click on this, refactor, add into our dog. And here's speak. It's not giving us any suggestions yet, so let's just hit enter here. QDebug woof. Perfect. So here we can see we're calling debug without including the QDebug include. So let's see if we go up here, if it will fix it for us. Nothing yet. Anything? Oops. Let's go like this. There we go. So, I'm not sure if that's quicker than me just typing it in since I already knew what the error was, but it eventually figured it out. So hit that, save it, and it looks good. So let's go into our main.cpp class here and go ahead and see what it wants to include. Nothing yet. All right, so let's go ahead and just include our dog class here. There we go. And here, let's say that we want to not create a dog object. That's the suggestion here, but let's say that we want to expose this dog class to our QML so that we can use it within our QML. So instead of creating a dog object, I'm going to say expose. Here we go. So already, once I wrote expose, it knew the dog class to QML. And I'm going to say, okay, that's good. All right, so let's go ahead and just run this application, make sure that it works. And yes, it does. Good. So within our QML, let's say that we want to instantiate an instance of this dog class and then create a button that will call the dog's speak function. So let's go to main.qml here. So one thing I want to touch upon is anytime I see AI generating code or people using AI to create different applications of various complexities, I see a lot of people saying, well, this is going to take software engineer jobs, or it's going to make software engineering less in demand. I don't necessarily think that's the case, however. How I view AI and code generation, I view it more like a tool, and how I view it is kind of a more advanced version of Wolfram Alpha. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Wolfram Alpha, but while I was in school, we used it very heavily within our math studies. So anytime we wanted to get answers to quadratic equations or calculus questions, you can input questions into Wolfram Alpha and it would provide an answer and step-by-step instructions on how to derive that answer. And I view these AI tools kind of the same way, where it supplements knowledge that you already know and you can use to increase productivity and save a lot of time. And why I say that is now here, when I want to use this dog class that I've exposed to QML, I know that I'm going to have to use this animals import here in order to access dog. Now, maybe you can use ChatGPT or another AI tool and say, hey, how do I go ahead and use this dog class that I've exposed. But I just don't feel that a project manager or someone who's not a software engineer is going to go ahead and do all that debugging and implementation and figuring all that out. Again, I feel like it's just a really good tool for software engineers already in order to supplement their learning or save a lot of time searching the internet for Stack Overflow questions. So here, let's go ahead and use that dog class. I know that I'm going to want to import, so I'll be up here already. Let's see if GitHub Copilot wants to do it. It doesn't. I can try to maybe force it. It doesn't. All right, so let's go ahead and just do animals 1.0. I think that's what it was. Let me just double check. Yes. All right, so it didn't want to autocomplete that. Again, that's something that I knew that I had to do. And if this is new to you using C++ classes within QML, I did create a video on how to expose and use C++ classes within QML. I suggest you take a look at that. All right, so now that we've created this import here, let's tell GitHub Copilot, okay, create an instance of the animal type. See, so that's not what we want. We want an instance of the dog type. So I'm just going to go here and correct this to dog type. And here we go, dog ID dog, perfect. And let's go down here and say, let's see what it wants. Create a rectangle that fills the entire screen and is red. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's say create a button at the bottom of the screen that makes the dog bark when clicked. Sure. Boom. And it has suggested this here. Now, one thing that I'm seeing here is I can't scroll past to see the rest of it. Maybe I'll just hide this. There we go. Button, text, make the dog bark. It's going to anchor to the bottom, horizontal center, which is good. On clicked, dog.bark. All right. So here's a perfect example of making sure you read through the code and ensuring that what the AI has suggested is correct. First, we can see that there's an error here with button because we have not imported the quick controls. Let's see if it wants to do it. There we go. All right, so that was good. That was a very good suggestion by the AI. Again, we knew that the error was because we were using a button without importing it. So we kind of led the AI by going up here and already kind of going through the motions of fixing it. It did a good job on implementing the rest of it. But there is an issue here. This dog.bark, I do not believe is correct. So let's go here. Let's go to our dog.h. And here we can see that the actual method is actually called speak. So again, perfect example of the AI did a very good job generating probably 99% of the code. However, this is incorrect because it's not dog.bark, it's dog.speak, which is the correct method name. So this would provide a bug. So let's go ahead and just fix this ourselves. Speak. And let's go ahead and run that. Here we go. Hello world, make the dog bark. All right, so we've hit this button and we can see here we get an error. Type error, property speak of object animal is not a function. So that was a mistake that we've made. Here that was a mistake because this is not marked with the QInvocable macro. Our QML can't use this function. So let's say here, make it usable in QML. And let's see if it will suggest anything. No. All right, let me just remove this then and try to, there we go. You can see QInvocable, which is correct. There we go. All right, and now that we've done it to our dog class, we have to make sure we also do it to our animal class. So let me just close this real quick. And let's go ahead and add that here and say, and we can see already it says make it usable in QML. So that was very good. That is correct. We'll save that. And then let's remove this and have it regenerate this, which is perfect. So now if we run it, make the dog bark, and you can see that the dog is woofing. And now that we've actually added this QInvocable macro here and said that we want this to be exposed to QML, let's see if we remove this dog.speak button here, if it will actually regenerate it correctly now that we have that QInvocable macro. So let's go ahead and do this and close this. And again, unfortunately, it still is doing dog.bark instead of dog.speak, even though we have it properly working within our dog class and our animal class, the queue-invocable macro set up properly. So again, these tools are very good. It generates a lot of code and saves a lot of time, but you still need to make sure that you know how to fix common errors like missing imports, as well as looking over the code and making sure that it's using the right methods and implementing properly. So let's do speak. Perfect. And one more thing, let's just go ahead real quick in our main.cpp, and let's just see if it'll go ahead and create a whole class for us. So let's say we want to create actually, let's first include our animal class here, and let's see if it'll create the whole cat class for us. So let's say create a cat class that subclasses animal and implements the speak function. And let's go ahead and just see if it will generate that whole class. So it kind of partially started doing it. Let's just see what it will do. So I'll tab to complete that. See what else it wants. It kind of just stopped there. So let's, there we go. Public cat default void speak const override and queue debug meow. Queue debug, it's giving us an error, so let's go ahead and include queue debug. It's not auto generating it for us, so let's see if we do this. Not really. Let's see if it'll keep doing it. There we go. That's correct. And then let's just quickly say that we want to expose the cat. Let's see. Yep, it does that. Animals cat. Perfect. Let's go to our main.qml. Let's see if it will say create cat. Nope. So let's say create an instance of the cat type. Perfect. Cat. And now let's see if it will create a button at the top of the screen that makes the cat meow when clicked. Perfect. And you can already see how much time it's saving just by having all these things auto-generated for us. And wow, yeah, you can see here that it's now added the correct speak function now that we've already done it here, and it can recognize that. So let's say enter and then run it, and our dog barks and our cat meows. So there you can see we created a whole class and implemented it within QML in probably a matter of minutes. So again, very powerful tool. I'll leave instructions on how to install the GitHub Copilot within the description. So definitely check it out. It saved me a lot of time. It's really cool. I enjoy using it. So thought I'd make a video to show you guys.